A woman named Sarah Allen woke up to the sound of scratching on her bedroom window. Not the wind, not a branch. Something rhythmic, like fingernails testing glass. She sat up, heart pounding, and pulled the curtain back an inch. There was no face, no animal, just a darkness that felt too steady, too intentional, hovering where the streetlight should have made everything clear. But the most terrifying part wasn't what she saw. It was what she didn't. Because the next morning, police reviewed the surveillance footage from Sarah's doorbell camera. And here's where it gets impossible. The footage showed Sarah walking to the window at 2:14 a.m. Then it abruptly cut out, not with the usual glitchy corruption, but with a perfectly clean blackout for exactly 31 minutes. After that, the video returned like nothing happened, like the camera had blinked and decided to forget. When officers asked Sarah if her Wi-Fi or internet went down, she didn't know. She didn't even have a password she could recall by memory. She only knew her device had been connected the night before. Investigators checked the route of the signal. Logs, routers, even the local provider. Nothing indicated an outage, no tampering alerts, no power fluctuation. And yet the camera went silent for a fixed window of time, the kind of precision you expect from a planned action, not a random failure. Sarah told investigators something else, that she heard a voice outside, but only for a second. A whisper that wasn't clear enough to understand, but it carried a pattern, like someone practicing a phrase. She never said it scared her because she couldn't name what it was. She said it scared her because it felt like it already knew her routine. And that's where this case shifts from haunting to truly puzzling. The police found no forced entry, no footprints in the yard, and no sign that anyone had approached her house during that exact half hour. The window looked untouched. The porch light worked. Nothing on the scene matched the footage's sudden blackout. Even the weather records didn't support the possibility of debris hitting the camera lens or power interruption. So what happened in those 31 minutes? Most unsolved mysteries fall into familiar categories: theft, human error, misdirection, or missing context. But this one doesn't offer closure. It offers precision, a camera that pauses on cue, a resident who hears something that shouldn't be there, and investigators who can prove the video was recorded, stored, and retrieved without any obvious flaw, while the missing segment remains unexplainable. Now let's talk about another case, because when you stack mysteries together, patterns start to whisper. In 1945, on a remote stretch of ocean between Iceland and Norway, the fishing trawler called the Vestal vanished from radio contact, only to reappear days later. It was found drifting, still seaworthy, with its sails partially raised and its engine intact. But every person on board was missing. No bodies, no lifeboats, no chaos that suggested a violent event. The strangest detail, the ship's logbook had been carefully updated, but it ended abruptly. The last entry was a timestamp with a calm sentence that didn't match any emergency protocol. After that, nothing. Crew members claimed the sea went unusually still before communication stopped. Not rough, not calm in a natural way, but still like time had been paused. On deck, investigators found items placed where they should be during ordinary life. A cup left at the edge of a table, clothes folded, tools stored. It looked like people had simply stepped away and decided not to come back. There are theories: storms without trace, hallucinations from isolation, a catastrophic event that erased everything except order. But none of the explanations fully account for how the Vestal could drift so controllably with such a clean scene and still leave behind no clear reason for disappearance. So we're left with a chilling question that ties both stories together. What if some events don't feel like a tragedy at the moment they happen? What if they feel like a pause, a missing segment in time, a blank line in the record, a moment where the world continues but the people inside it are removed from the story? That's why unsolved mysteries keep pulling us back. Not because we want fear, but because we want answers. We want to know whether we live in a universe with rules that can be measured or rules that can be bent without warning. Here's where you come in. Which do you find more terrifying and more believable? The story of Sarah Allen's doorbell camera blackout, or the disappearance of the entire crew aboard the Vestal? In the comments, tell me your pick and explain why. And if you've heard of an unsolved mystery you think deserves a full deep dive, drop it in the comments. I'll turn the most requested cases into the next episode, because the truth behind these mysteries isn't just something investigators hunt, it's something all of us can help uncover.